name is Pavel, and the name of the company is basementremodeling.com, and we service homeowners who have basements throughout DMV.
Cool. All right. For those who may be hearing your story for the first time, can you share your journey from moving to the United States to becoming the founder and CEO of basementremodeling.com?
Yeah, I mean, it's a long story, but I'll try to make it shorter. So I came to America in 2006. I just came for summer as a J1 student, and literally, like after a week, I knew like I want to stay here and find the ways to stay in America. So I found my ways. I stayed, and first day, maybe second day, like after I arrived, I ended up being in construction as a helper, and that's pretty much how I like got pulled into the industry. And so from that point on, it's just a lot of hard work. And I registered my first company in 2009. About 3 years after being here, we started working like for ourselves, like a little bit before then. And I started the company. Just it was me and my partner at the time. We split ways about a year later, and uh, just from that point on, a lot of hard work and dedication, and I never really had a plan that like I'm gonna start a company and like I'm gonna become a CEO. It was never a plan. For me, it was just all very natural, just one step after another. Maybe 7, 8 years into it, I and being in America, like for like 8 to 10 years, I just kind of started to realize that this is like my real home. This is like where I'm at and where I'm from now on, and just started building the business and like started having a vision. I would say like when in my 20s I did not have that. I probably had like I knew that I'll be successful and I'll be like I'll work hard, but at the same time I was not what's called like I was not like a visionary or anything. Just the vision came like a lot later. Yeah.
Yeah, so building it as you went along.
Yeah, exactly,
Yeah.
exactly. Yeah, not there is like no some. It's just yeah, boring story of working hard, kind of.
No, not boring at all.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you came into the construction industry really quickly after arriving in America. What initially attracted you to this line of work, and when did you realize you wanted to build your own company?
I mean, I was always handy. I was helping my dad when I was little, just doing things, around the house, doing things at our summer house, doing things like in the garage. So I was always handy. I was never like a really good cook. So when you're like 20 and you don't really speak English, you really have like couple options out there. Maybe like, go work at the restaurant or like, moving company or construction. There are like not that many options out there. And the way I ended up in construction is just like we arrived and like we met someone. Hey, like do you guys want to go work tomorrow? And we just like went and worked, and we were shocked. I'll be honest with you, because like we came here as we were just college students, college kids, and we didn't really like do anything like that. And we just ended up in this situation when we are on a roof in Philadelphia. Like, and I'm from Russia. Like we don't know what is like 100 degrees Fahrenheit. Like the hottest I've ever experienced like was 80 probably. And we are just out there, like, third day in America. We are on that roof and it's 100 degrees and it's like crazy humid. We also do not know what is humid because it's like like the part of Russia I'm from is like very inland. We don't know, we don't have humid. So I was quite shocked. So I never went back to roofing. Like, one week, as the roofing helper was enough. But then, just you build connections. Meet some people here, some people there, and we just ended up like working for that company that was doing hotels, and we traveled with them. And then when we were done with that company, that's when I decided, okay, I want to work for myself. And obviously at that point, I had like a year or two experience in construction, so I just like started doing little things, by myself. And then those things got bigger and bigger and bigger, and then at this point, like it might have been like 4 or 5 years since I've been to the construction site myself. But yeah.
Oh, that's awesome. So you went from being on site and then now you're kind of working behind the scenes.
Yeah, probably
Cool.
kind of.
And you talked a lot about systems, automation, and building strong teams. Why has creating structure within the business been such an important focus for you?
That's because that's the only way to build a business. Because if you want to be self-employed and you just want to have like 3 or 4 people who you're going to tell what to do, that's one thing. But if you want to build a business that will that can flourish like without you overlooking and managing everyone, structure and the systems is the only way. So I realized that maybe like about 10 years ago. Like I said, maybe like 8 years into being in America, that's when I started doing it, because I knew, and like I said, it just all came naturally, you know. Like it's not like I might have read some stuff, like I started reading books about entrepreneurship and everything, but just all those books, they talk about different things because everyone gives their own perspective. And my perspective was that I have to build a structure, I have to build the systems, so people know what to do without like me being present, and there is also some kind of guardrails so they don't go, they can go this way. They can, like, they have to kind of follow the process. And to build the process, you have to build the software. That's when I started building around software. And then just like right now, pretty much my job is more of like my job is more of a CEO of a tech company rather than the CEO of the construction company. Yeah, because 80% of my time is dedicated to building software.
Okay, that's cool. Yeah, so you mentioned working on a software company based on systems your team has developed internally. What inspired you to create technology solutions from your own business experience?
I just know that what we built works, and I know that. I mean, I know we can like commercialize it and make a lot of money. We can just get rich over it. But at the same time, that's like one perspective. But like probably somewhere on a deeper level, I'm pretty sure that I just believe in the product because I can see how it helped me get where I'm at. Because it's obviously the people. Like without the people, nothing would happen. But that's kind of obvious, right? But then you have the people. If you want to grow the company without being constantly involved, that's why you need the structure. And and the software is pretty much the structure, like, because everyone does everything from their computers right now, so you have to give them the tools to do that.
Yeah, I think that's awesome. You found something that works for you and now you're helping other people.
Yeah.
So, basementremodeling.com has become known for transforming underutilized spaces into beautiful living areas. What do you enjoy most about helping homeowners reimagine their homes?
Honestly, the transformation, like the word that you've mentioned, the transformation, just getting the project from, and honestly, like we do a lot of work, like we do some of our projects like in a very older homes in DC, and the things that we do out there. So one thing, yes, like, if it's a huge basement, like, somewhere in actually Loudoun County, we can do a lot of cool things out there, but a lot of companies can actually do that. We can do something really nice and beautiful in terms of design, but the transformation from like having like a tiny little basement that is like this tall and turning into like a beautiful space, complex projects, structural projects, underpinning projects, where we basically digging under the house and just building a basement where it wasn't, where there was no like real basement. Those things are really cool. But transformation, just taking it, having a conversation for 30-40 minutes, doing like that's what our design team does, doing the floor plan and then converting into a proposal, and then taking this proposal and converting into a plan, and just having everyone knowing what to do, and getting to that result. And the transformation is like, that's the most satisfying part. And obviously customer satisfaction, like when people leave reviews, just it's always like makes everyone's day better when we like get a new review, and we always send it to the company group chat. We always share, and we always like thank the team for the hard work and everything. So yes, it's transformation and just having like a happy customer.
Yeah, being able to give them that good experience.
Yeah.
And customer service is a huge priority for you. Why do you believe the client experience matters just as much as the finished product itself?
Yeah, I think it might even matter more because in the end, I always say that you can give someone a perfect basement, but if you're going to come back to that basement a year later, it's going to like, when we work with our clients, they want to be like, I would say majority of them, they want everything. Maybe like, majority of them, they want it normal perfect. Like there is a little percentage that who want it ultimately perfect. And the thing is like, we'll give them perfect walls, and that's fine. Like that's just like, I would have the same expectations. But at the same time, getting there, it's more important, because a year later, that basement's gonna, the wall's gonna have scuffs, the floor's gonna have like, some marks. Like it's just like, like wear and tear. So the basement's not gonna be perfect, like, after someone being there for 3-4 months. But the process of getting there, because if someone's gonna go through this experience of like having a painter come back like 10 times to get the walls and the ceiling, to the paint work like to the point where they want it. I mean, like that'll just stick in there, and like that whenever the people have like other basement or if they need to get their bathroom or kitchen done, they're not gonna call you. But if the expectations are like standard and your basement is not absolutely perfect, but the experience is great, you will you will get a repeat customer. Like the people will come back to you because in the end, experience is more important than experience is more important than the final product. Final product is just as important, but if I would weight them, I would just say like this is like experience is just a tiny bit more important than the final product, assuming that the final product is already A quality.
Yeah.
I'm not saying like you can give somebody like C quality and just be satisfied with that. I mean, I'm not even looking at the situation.
Yeah, so giving them a good experience so that you can build like a long lasting relationship with them.
For that reason, and just for the reason, is because that's what they deserve.
Yeah.
I have like very high expectations myself, and I totally get like when we have customers like who have the same exact expectations, and delivering for them and is very important.
Yeah. And what are some of the biggest misconceptions homeowners have when starting a basement remodeling project?
The biggest misconceptions. I don't know. Honestly, what are the biggest misconceptions? Some of them may think that it's easy and like they try to do it themselves. If you run into those situations relatively often, but just based on our experience, I mean, like we have the best customers, like, and I think we try to educate them. So by the time, they're signing the contract, they just have no misconceptions. But in terms of like what regular people think of I mean, just maybe just they think that it's easy and it's not. Like doing 100 basements a year is like throughout throughout 2 states plus DC, and throughout 5 counties in one state, throughout like 7 counties in the other state, is harder than building a 100-story building. Like I mean, it's like logistically the amount of, because you have like 50 people who are spread out through 60 square miles, probably what is 60 by 60 is what 3,600 square miles. It's way harder than just having them come to the same place for a year building a high rise. So it is a complex process, but it's complex for us. We want to make it easy for the homeowners, but those who think that they can do it themselves, they in 95% of the cases, just unless they have experience and they have resources, they have subcontractors, and they can do the right job by pulling the permits and do the right thing by pulling the permits and stuff, that's 5% of those who try to do it themselves. The 95% fail. I mean, try to build a car.
Yeah.
It's kind of hard.
And you've built a company that continues to grow while maintaining strong systems and processes. What have been some of the biggest lessons you've learned as a business owner and a leader?
I would say, while you are a CEO, you just always have to keep your hand in the pulse. Just while I might not be at the office, every day, but just having consistency with checking in with the people who are your direct, who respond to you. That's probably one of the most important things. So like if you build a company, don't think that it's just I talk about the system, I talk about how autonomous it is, but the management part, the leadership part, and the culture part is still important. So I would just say if you, to give you a quick answer, you have to continue encouraging the culture. Yeah. And the things I didn't talk much about the culture. I think just once again, it just came naturally. But I think, if you talk about the culture, it is extremely important for the long-term growth and for the retention of the people. Yeah, because you can't build a company without a good culture. You're just gonna have people coming and leaving. And in our case, our subcontractor, the subcontractor who was with us the longest has been with us since I started the company. And my second employee is still with us, and he basically started out from being a helper in construction, and right now he's a senior project manager, basically taking over on the most complex projects. And all of this is just because of the culture, because just build the culture of excellence, build the culture of what is the word, like when you're responsible for for your actions. There is a word for it, I don't remember. Accountability.
Accountability.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
culture of accountability. Yeah,
Yeah. So making those connections with the people that you work with.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you mentioned that trust is becoming even more important in today's world. Why do you think that personal connection still matters so much in an industry that's becoming increasingly driven by technology and AI?
Yeah, I mean, our industry, I would say, is probably like not as driven by technologies and AI. But yes, I mean, like I see a lot of those products where they advertise, like, send us the photo and we'll generate the estimate and stuff. But I mean, you may sell a $3,000 job like that, but if you're trying to sell $100,000 job in the world where most of the meetings are happening through Zoom, companies are being managed and built through Zoom with AI employees and everything, you we just have like less personal interaction, and it makes it even harder for some people to like find the right person, and like doing it without the personal interaction, like letting, like I said, I can talk about like our industry, which is kind of like a higher end, large remodeling projects, whether it's a kitchen, master bathroom addition, or anything like that. You are letting someone into your house for the period of anywhere between 3 weeks and in some cases 12 weeks. You have your family out there, you have your kids. Just the personal interaction, especially at the point of like making an initial meeting, like having an initial meeting, having going through the design process and contract preparation process. That is extremely important, and obviously doing the job. I mean, like I always tell our project managers, you have to be there, you have to give our clients face time, even if you don't have to.
Yeah, so being there for your clients and not just doing everything with AI.
Yeah, with AI or like Zooms or anything. Like Zooms help, but yes, I mean, like I said, in our case, in order for you to build a basement, you have to have people on site. But yes, the admin side of things and the communication side of things, I encourage more of a. I used to encourage less of a personal touch, and I would say like you guys need to be more at the office, and right now I actually tell everyone like, because AI makes everything you do at the office is a lot easier, and you free up the time, and I want them to use AI so they actually can spend more time talking to customers and making sure that they're happy.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
And AI and automation are rapidly changing business operations. How do you see technology positively impacting the construction and remodeling industry while still preserving the human side of business?
Uh, I mean, the tools definitely help you stay more organized. Just, I mean, it's in our industry, it's all about the project management, obviously. So, like I said, we when it comes to construction, there are two sides of things. There are people who are actually doing the work. AI is not going to change anything out there. You still have to train, you still have to do a good job. Like nothing's changing out there, but the project management part, like the administrative part of the project, I think it just makes the quality of everyone's work higher. And it's like it's kind of interesting because on one end, AI helps a lot to make everything look really good on the screen, and then like people can actually build this with AI right now. Like you can build like this presence or an illusion of like really cool company, but then you don't have the people. Or I mean, people who are starting out, like they may be really good like with AI and like admin things of admin things of admin side of things, but I mean, in the end, all of that is important, but just having the right people go out there, show up, and do the work, we can easily finish the basement without AI and without computer. But we cannot finish the basement without the electrician, plumber, a drywall hanger, a painter, and the flooring guy. Like those things. Yes. So I always say like our industry is as funny as it is. Like our industry is just gonna be unaffected by the technology for the next like you know like the way like the construction side of it is not going to affect it by technology for at least like next 30-50 years. We have to build the houses differently because I cannot see, I mean, I can see the robots to do certain things, but just I can see robots invading the industrial and commercial construction, so everything like high rise, robots are already replacing certain people. in our industry, remodeling, when you go into the house and you're like, even just getting into the house sometimes, even getting into the basement sometimes is a challenge. Like, getting the drywall into the basement is a challenge. Yeah, that part's going to stay unchanged. So, yeah.
Yeah, so using it as a tool rather than letting it run the whole thing.
Yeah, absolutely. 100%. Yeah.
And as someone who spent years building and scaling a company, what advice would you give to entrepreneurs who are trying to create a sustainable long-term growth in their business?
Um, I would definitely say you have to read and learn and watch podcasts because we all live in a bubble, and we can only learn so much from the surrounding environment, and especially if you're like not in San Francisco, where everyone's like breathing technology and AI and everything else. You just have to, and even just the culture of the entrepreneurship is just stronger, in some certain areas. But yes, you just have to constantly educate yourself. That's 100%, and you have to believe.
Yeah. So
Yeah,
constantly learning and taking in new information.
absolutely, 100%. Yes, that's what I do every day. That's why like this drive here was not was easy.
And for anyone considering remodeling their basement, transforming their home, or wanting to learn more about your company, where can they find and connect with basementremodeling.com?
They just go to basementremodeling.com. It's very easy. Schedule a consultation, get an online quote, or just give us a call.
Cool.
Yeah.
As we wrap up, is there anything you'd like to add that I haven't touched on today?
No, I don't think so.
Thank you so much, Pavel, for joining me on the podcast and sharing your knowledge, creative passion, and inspiring story with us. I wish you the very best in all that comes your way in the future.
All right, thank you.